Hi and welcome back to another AnyRPG Development Livestream. In these videos I livestream the development of the AnyRPG Engine, a free and open source role-playing game engine designed in Unity and written in C#. If you don't already have a copy of AnyRPG, you can pick one up from anyrpg.org/downloads in both Unity package and source code format. You can also find free copies of the games that I work on in these episodes at the same page. In this episode, we will be continuing our creation of the Chapter 2 content, and after making Light Fury Outpost in the last episode, we will be finally heading over to the ManaSeal, so we'll need to make a zone for that. There's already a cutscene zone, so we'll be copying that. The free assets that we'll be using to create this are the Araya Soundscapes Sampler free epic cinematic AAA quality audio assets, and we'll be using one of the background sounds in there, specifically the Onyak background Lost the War audio file. We'll also be using the 3D Game Kit Character Pack, which is a free asset available published directly by Unity Technologies for these robots right here. For the level, we'll be using the Courtyard, which is a free asset also published by Unity Technologies. So let's just jump in, and I've got my project open here. So we'll look for the level here. We already have a ManaSeal cutscene in one of these folders right here. And so what we'll want to do basically is duplicate that, and we'll end up with the ManaSeal level. I'm just going to remove this. That was one that I actually already pre-created for this. So what we can do is just Control D to duplicate the ManaSeal cutscene here and pull it over. And then rename this to just ManaSeal. We'll double click to open up the level. And click F to focus on it so we can see it. And then we'll just remove all the stuff that we made for the regular ManaSeal level. So we had a force field in here, which is not going to be active in this particular cutscene. We had some spawners here to spawn units, and we're going to get rid of all of those. We had some Lunamechs in here, and we're going to get rid of those as well. We also have all these inanimate units like the moving laser guides. We'll get rid of all those. And then we need to get rid of this pool as well here. So I'm just going to delete the pink water. And then because the force field and everything will be shut down, then this little glowy piece in the middle here isn't needed anymore. So we can pretty much just remove that. And then we'll need to rebake the lighting basically, because right now you can see it looks like there's a little bit of a glow, and that glow isn't needed anymore. This one also has some scripts on it which we need to remove as well. Okay, that should be pretty good for the actual level itself. Let's just take a look and make sure that we've got a nav mesh on it. Nav mesh looks okay. And what we'll want to do is add this to the build settings. So File, Build Settings, Add Open Scenes, I'm going to delete this one because that's the old ManaSeal. And there was another level here. We'll just get rid of those. That was an old one that we deleted, and we'll just pull this ManaSeal level up. And now we've got it in our build settings. What we need now is to make a scene node so that we can actually load this. So we have a ManaSeal cutscene scene node right here, and I'm just going to duplicate that, and this one will just be the ManaSeal instead of the ManaSeal cutscene. We can remove the cutscene name from there. We can uncheck suppressed character spawn, uncheck suppress main camera, uncheck is cutscene, uncheck basically anything to do with cutscenes pretty much. This one also doesn't need any environment states because we're not going to be switching out the skybox in it. And it doesn't have any dialogues because it's not a cutscene. For the background music, we'll want to make sure that we've got a music node. So I can't remember if I added one yet. Let's just go take a look. So the specific music file that we'll be using here was the Araya Soundscapes sampler Lost the War. It doesn't look like I've got a Lost the War audio profile here yet, so let's just make one really quickly. I'll hit Control D to duplicate the Eastern music here, and we'll call this one Lost the War. The resource name will be Lost the War, and I'm going to look for Lost the War. We'll use the OGG file because it's higher quality than the MP3, and let's just play that for a second. So that's pretty good. That's exactly the effect we're looking for here. We want this sort of nice creepy music because this whole place is going to be abandoned. So now we can go back to the ManaSeal cutscene, or the ManaSeal scene node, and put as the background music profile Lost the War, and then we'll just confirm that all the settings are correct in Lost the War. Yeah, it's got the right background one. Perfect. So now we've got some background music for this, and now we need to set a default spawn location. Now, there already is a default spawn location. If we hit F, we can focus on it and see it, but I don't want the character to start on the steps. I actually want to move this up and have him sort of walk down these sand dunes here. So we'll have him start sort of on the edge of the sand dunes. So I'm just going to middle click right there. Click on default spawn location and hit Control Alt F, which will pop my default spawn location right to where I just middle clicked. And now that's where our character can spawn. Let's save that, and then now we need a way to actually get our character to this level. So to do that, this will be accessible from the outpost level that we added last time. So let's just go to Light Fury Outpost and make a portal to get our character here to the ManaSeal. We've already got a portal in here. If we hit F and focus on it, we can see we've got this Sun Temple portal here, and the ManaSeal portal is going to be at the other end of this path over here. So let's just create a new empty to hold both of our portals, and we'll call it portals. Move the Sun Temple portal into it. Control D to duplicate the Sun Temple portal, and then we'll just drag it over here. And actually what I'm going to do is rotate it so it's covering the path in this direction. Then I'm just going to middle click on the ground right here and hit Control Alt F to move it over there. Okay, that's good. Now if I open this up, we can rename this to the ManaSeal portal. If we click on the magic wall, we can see what it's going to look like, and that's perfect. We want to basically walk through this magic wall, and we'll end up in the level here. For the portal here, this is going to say travel to the ManaSeal, and we'll just put that in the interactable as well. And the spell is going to be teleport ManaSeal instant. And for the location tag, we're not going to give it a location tag for now. We'll just let it go to the default location. That's good. Now we've got a way to actually teleport to the ManaSeal. We just got to make sure that the spell exists, and it very likely doesn't because I haven't created this level before. So we have this teleport Light Fury outpost instant. I'm just going to duplicate that. And we are going to call this one teleport ManaSeal instant. We'll set it to teleport ManaSeal instant. And it says teleport to the ManaSeal. For the effect, it's going to be teleport ManaSeal effect. And then we'll just copy the Light Fury one again. So we have this teleport Light Fury outpost effect. I'm just going to duplicate that, so Control D to duplicate it, and call it the teleport ManaSeal effect. In the bottom, this is just going to say level name is ManaSeal, and that should be all we need to actually teleport ourselves to the ManaSeal. Next, we'll want to make a quest that leads us there. So that quest, we can just call it Investigate the ManaSeal. We already have a quest for investigating the outpost, so we'll just duplicate that. And call it Investigate the ManaSeal. We'll change the quest name up here. And change the description to follow the map to the ManaSeal and investigate it. For the dialogue objectives, we're going to have a discharged Lunamech. The second one will be a dusty Lunamech, and the third one will be a holy Lunamech. That looks good. We'll save that quest, and now we'll go to the Dead Commander unit here, and on his quest giver quest list, we'll give him a second quest, and he will start investigate the ManaSeal. Let's save that and go to the Load Game Manager now. And let's just see if our quest and our portal are working. we've got an issue here. Could not find dialogue, investigate the ManaSeal. So that's because I didn't make a dialogue for it. And I think I will make a dialogue for it. So we have this dialogue here, investigate the outpost. I'm just going to duplicate that and call it investigate the ManaSeal. We'll change the name up here as well to investigate the ManaSeal. And let's see, with the camp guards all dead, there is no one to tell you whether the ManaSeal is still functioning or not. You should go try to follow the map to the ManaSeal and check if it is still operating. And the next option is sure, I'll go now. That'll just be a single dialogue node, and we'll save that. And now this error message should go away, and we'll have a dialogue before the quest as well. So let's load up our tester here, who's at Light Fury Outpost. We'll go over to our dead commander, click on him. With the camp guards all dead, there's no one to tell you whether the ManaSeal is still functioning or not. You should go try to follow the map to the ManaSeal and check if it is still operating. I'll go now, and we accept the quest. Now we'll head over to this pathway over here, and we should see our magic wall over there. It's kind of hard to see because there's too much light off those desert there, but if we look the other way, we can get a good look at it. So that's great. We'll walk into it here. We get a loading message, and we end up with the ManaSeal, and the music is playing. Perfect. It looks like for some reason the ManaSeal is trying to play a dialogue. Actually, I know exactly why that is. It's because I forgot to actually remove the timeline controller from it. When I copied this ManaSeal scene from a scene that had a timeline controller on it, so it's trying to play the timeline, but of course it's not working because this isn't the timeline scene. Also, this camera here is not needed. This camera was part of the timeline as well, so we can just get rid of that too. Let's save that, and now that we know that we can get to the zone, it's time to make some basically NPCs, and what we're going to do for that is we will be using the 3D game kit character pack, and we'll be using these mechs. Now, we already have some mech units, but what we want to do, and let's just, I'll demonstrate the animation that I want to find here. If we go to the Luna mech model here, this will bring us to where I've imported the Grenadiers, and the Grenadier has this really cool death animation clip here. Let's just pull one of the Grenadier models on top of that so we can see it properly, and I'll pull it up in a full screen here, and then let's just watch this death animation. So basically he dies and he falls down, and then he ends on the ground like that. So what I want basically is just to take this right here and turn it into a permanent pose. And to do that, what we can do is we can actually play this animation in-game and then pull out the character model and then just use that as a model for the NPC. So let's just take a look at our Luna mech model here. what I'll do is I'm going to duplicate the LunaMech model. We're going to have this guy as an enemy in the next scene anyway, so I'm just going to call this one the hostile LunaMech model. Then what we need to do is we have some LunaMech units, and I'm going to pull these into the chapter 2 content here. And then we also have another LunaMech unit, the regular LunaMech unit, and I'm also going to pull this into the chapter 2 content, and then I'm going to copy the regular LunaMech unit, just hit Control D, and I'm going to rename this one to the hostile LunaMech unit. We're just going to open up this prefab here. We're going to get rid of the regular LunaMech model, and we'll pull in the hostile LunaMech model. Go to the scene view so that we can see him. The hostile LunaMech unit will have a faction of mechanical. Everything else should be okay. Let me just make sure that his animation profile has a death animation in it. And we did set the death animation. Good. Now, right now, this guy actually doesn't have any attacks, so he's not going to be able to do anything, but that's okay because really the only thing that we need him to do is die. So let me just check if I made a unit profile for the LunaMechs. It looks like I didn't, so I need to make a unit profile for our hostile LunaMech so I can actually spawn him and then make this this like dead unit pose here. So to do that, we're going to go into our resources folder here, and we have unit profiles and AI. I'm going to create a new folder here, call it chapter 2, and we'll go create an AnyRPG unit profile, call it hostile LunaMech. Set the resource name to hostile LunaMech, and this will allow us to spawn him. For the icon, I don't actually have an icon for him, so I'm just going to use basically any old icon. I don't think I have any like mechanical or sort of robot icons, so for now let's just use this one right here. For his unit prefab, that's going to be the hostile LunaMech unit. His default toughness is just going to be nothing. Basically, we don't need to fill out any of those other properties, but we do need to attach this to the LunaMech. So we'll go to the hostile LunaMech unit here, and he has his unit profile name is going to be hostile LunaMech, and then we'll need to add him to our ATM so we can spawn him. So I have the AnyRPG ATM, and we'll duplicate the first array element here and set the first unit to hostile LunaMech. Let's save that, and then now we have to go kill this guy so that we can grab his collapsed model easily. To do that, we'll go back into the game, press play, game. I've got a tester here in the SoulForge, so we'll just use him because the SoulForge is the quickest way for us to get to the place where we can spawn that guy. So we just need to head over to this crystal over here, which will teleport us to the Arena of Trials, where we can spawn in that hostile Luna mech and kill him. And it looks like we have an issue there, and that's that there is no actual mechanical faction. I'm just gonna unpause that, return out of here. Let's just save the game right here, and we need to go actually make the mechanical faction. So there's a beasts faction, and mechanical is just going to be hostile just like beasts, so we will just call this mechanical, call the faction mechanical, and just put mechanical units. For the resource description profile, we'll just call it mechanical icon. Default disposition is -1. I'm going to go to the folder where we had the rhino icon there, and I'll just make a mechanical icon. It'll be a temporary mechanical icon for now. Name it mechanical icon, and set the icon to, which one did I use? Let's see if I can find them there. I think I used like night vision goggles or something. There we go. We'll just use these night vision goggles for now. Let's save that and reload the game. Load up the character that's in the Arena of Trials here. And there's our hostile Luna mech. So we'll just spawn him in here, and he doesn't have any way to attack me, but I can just run over and attack him. And he should die. Okay, perfect. So what we want to do now is we basically want to take this pile of junk and we want to make it into something that we can interact with. So what we're going to do is pause the game now, and we have this hostile Luna mech model here. And if we go into the scene and hit F to focus on it, there it is, the collapsed hostile Luna mech. Now what we want to do is make a prefab out of that. So I'm going to go down to the mechanical guardian folder here where I've got my prefabs, and I'm just going to pull that in. And it's really interesting that it's all pink. It actually shouldn't be, and I haven't seen that before. I wonder what happens if I pull in the hostile Luna mech unit. The exact same thing. Okay, well, he's in the right position, but for some odd reason his materials are a little messed up. Let's just go see if we can fix that. So I'm going to open up this prefab and try to figure out why all of his materials went pink when we pulled him out there. For some reason, he actually lost all of his materials. So let's go look at the charged Luna mech model, and if we look at his materials, He has Grenadier matte, AnyRPG Grenadier core matte yellow, and AnyRPG Grenadier eye matte yellow. So we should be able to basically just go into this collapsed one. I'm going to call this one a discharged LunaMech model. We'll open up the prefab here and search for Grenadier. So Grenadier matte goes in the first one. And I can't remember what the second one was, whether it was core or eye. Let's just look at one of the regular ones here. Okay, so the second one is core and the third one is eye. I'm going to take that one out because we don't need it. That was just for testing. Then we'll open this Grenadier up and we actually want the discharged LunaMech. There we go. And then this should be core and then eye. Okay, good. So now we've basically got these guys and we can make them into quest givers. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the regular LunaMech. Actually, for that, I'm actually going to use the dead guard as my basically template here. Our dead guard is an inanimate unit because he's going to be always dead, and seem like these dead LunaMechs, they're just inanimate, so this one already has all the right components on that for that. So in this case, it is the discharged LunaMech unit. We're going to open up this prefab. We're going to get rid of the dead guard model, and we will use our discharged LunaMech model. For the nameplate, I'm going to move it up a little bit so it's just sort of hovering in the air above him there. Then for the interaction panel title, it's just going to be discharged LunaMech. And for our unit frame target, this LunaMech doesn't really have a head. So for the dead LunaMech, we want to focus on like some part of his body, basically. Let me just see what would be a good place to focus on here. Sphere should be okay. We'll make Grenadier Sphere the focus when we actually focus on this unit with a unit frame. So we'll paste Grenadier Sphere in there. Let's just check. He doesn't have any weird scaling. Everything is a scale of 1. So to make it like 45 degrees up, basically, actually, let me just see, take a look at his sphere. If we look at the local of his sphere, it's not facing directly up. So in order to make our camera looking from above this thing, what we need to do is set the value to -x, and we'll do +z. So I'll do a -x of 2 and a +z of 2, and that should place the camera right about sort of where I'm looking right now. So -2 for x gives us the up, and +2 for z will have our thing going at about 45 degrees toward him. Now that we've got our discharged LunaMech model, all it needs is these things that it already has on it: interactable, inanimate unit, and a dialogue. So I'm just going to change the interactable name to discharged LunaMech, and that's what's going to show up. Actually, it's the display name here that's going to show up on the nameplate as discharged LunaMech. So then for the dialogues, we'll put those manually in the level. So now we want to go place these things in our scene. So we'll load up again the ManaSeal scene. Just hit F to focus on the built-in here. And then we want to place a bunch of these LunaMechs around the level. So this is where they're normally supposed to be charging, and they're just going to be laying here discharged basically. So I'll grab a discharged LunaMech unit, I'll pull it in under inanimate units, then I'll hit Control Alt F to make him appear where I had middle clicked there. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate him, I'll middle click right here, and then Control Alt F to move him over. Then we'll want to place a few more of these as well. So over here, I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate, Control Alt F to move it, Control D to duplicate, middle click, and Control Alt F. And we need one more over here, and our sixth one will be in the basement, and that'll be part of our mystery here. So we're going to middle click there, Control D to duplicate, Control Alt F, and then let's go find our basement. Somewhere in here we've got stairs that lead us down to a basement. Let's go find those. Here they are right here. And if we head down into the basement, this is going to be basically the entrance to a dungeon. And we'll put a LunaMech down here. Basically he'll be the quest giver before the dungeon, so I'll hit Control D to duplicate one of these existing ones and Control Alt F to bring this guy down here. Alright, now what we want to do is add dialogues to the other LunaMechs. So we'll go to the first discharged LunaMech here, and the dialogue will be a discharged LunaMech. Then we'll go to the third LunaMech unit there and give him a dialogue of a dusty LunaMech, and then we'll go to the fifth one up here and go give him a dialogue of a holy LunaMech. We'll actually want to make those dialogues because they don't exist yet, so let's go ahead and make them. Our dialogues are in this folder right here, Dialogue Chapter 2, so I'm just going to duplicate any old dialogue from the Light Fury Outpost, like this bloody map one right here, and we're going to call it a discharged LunaMech. We'll set the title of the dialogue to a discharged LunaMech, and it'll have one dialogue node. The prerequisite will be that you are on the quest Investigate the ManaSeal, and the description will be this LunaMech appears to be completely discharged and out of power, so it has collapsed on the ground. And the next option will just be continue searching. Actually, continue investigating. Then we'll hit Control D and we'll create a dusty LunaMech. So a dusty LunaMech. Change the resource name to a dusty LunaMech. And we'll change this dialogue text to the LunaMech is covered in dust. It must have been offline for quite some time now, and continue investigating is good. We're going to hit Control D to duplicate this one again, and we're going to call this one a holy LunaMech. This is a holy Lunamech. Unlike the other Lunamechs, this unit appears to be missing its partner. It is also full of singed holes, similar to the one you found on or in the dead guard at the outpost. And then we'll have continue investigating. We need somewhere to turn this quest in. So for that, we have an inanimate unit over here that we can create basically. I'm going to hit F to focus on this, and basically we want to have this thing in the center as essentially our quest giver. So let's see what's the best place to actually turn this into a unit here. The actual focus is probably the best one. So I'm going to click Unpack Prefab completely, and then we're going to take this focus here and we're going to actually turn it into a unit. Let's just take a look and see the top cube, I think, maybe. Yeah, we'll remove those missing scripts from there. And this looks good. We'll make this top cube into the actual quest giver here. So to do that, I'll make a new prefab and we'll put it with the environment. So that's in the courtyard. So under environments here, and I believe this environment, I called it Ancient Archive. Let's move the cube into that. And then we'll open up this prefab right here. We will add a quest giver as well as an interactable and an inanimate unit. For the position that we're going to use to look at it, we'll set a Y value of +5 and a Z value of +5 for now. So that'll be +5Y, +5Z from its base, which should give us sort of 45-degree downward on it. Actually, this thing is pretty tall, so I'm just going to try 7 and 7. We might have to adjust that a little bit more. For the interactable, making it glow is fine, and it needs to have one quest, 2 of them actually. The first quest it's going to end, and that will be investigate the ManaSeal. And it's going to start a new quest called Find the Missing Lunamechs. And that should be okay. We need to give it a name, so the name it'll have will be the display name, and we're going to call this the Sun Focus. I'm just going to give it an interactable name, Sun Focus, and an interaction title panel, Sun Focus as well. We'll need to create a quest, Find the Missing Lunamechs. do that, we'll just go to the folder where investigate the ManaSeal is. We'll hit Control D to duplicate and call this one find the missing LunaMex. And the description will be 2 of the LunaMex are not at their charging stations. Try to find them. This one will have a single dialogue objective, and actually for this one I'm going to make this one into a holy LunaMech. Let's actually do a collapsed LunaMech. Alright, we're going to go to a holy LunaMech, and we're going to duplicate that one, call it a collapsed LunaMech. Change the title to a collapsed LunaMech, and set the dialogue to say, unlike the other LunaMechs, this one appears to have been trying to get somewhere when it was trying to get somewhere. It bears battle scars. There is a door to what appears to be an ancient temple nearby. Perhaps you should investigate. And we'll just have OK. And this one has a prerequisite that we are on the quest, find the missing LunaMex. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to make a dialogue for actually starting the Find the Missing LunaMex quest. So we'll call this one Find the Missing LunaMex. Set it to find the missing LunaMex, and this particular dialogue will say the sun focus is offline and the sun shield is down. All the mana appears to be missing from the mana pool. The sun focus looks like, actually we'll have a second dialogue for that. So then the option for this one will have no prerequisites because it's an intro dialogue. And I'll just have that explains a lot for now. And then our next dialogue will say, the sun focus appears to be connected to some machinery below it. Perhaps the remaining Lunamechs and the subterranean machinery are connected. Search for the missing Lunamechs. And I'll go search now. Just looks good. Let's save that, and then what we need to do is make sure that find the missing Lunamechs has an opening dialog. So has opening dialog is checked, so that's good. And then I'll want to go back and place the collapsed Lunamech dialog on the Lunamech in the basement. So I'll hit F. This is the one in the basement here. And his dialog name is a collapsed Lunamech. Let's save that, and I think what I want to do is actually one of these guys, a discharged Lunamech. It's the one that has a dusty Lunamech. We actually want to remove his partner because his partner is going to be the final boss in the basement. So we'll delete that one, and then we'll see that a dusty Lunamech, we just have to change this, and it must have been offline for quite some time now. Its partner is also missing. And then for a holy Lunamech, this unit appears to be missing its partner. It's also full of singed holes. Okay, that should tell the story of what's happening so far. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to bake the lighting in the scene. So let's click on generate lighting because we need to get rid of this little orange halo here because this thing is completely offline. There we go, that's better. So now we don't see that light around there. For this focus here, there we go, that's better. Light's all baked. For this focus here, let's just select that and open up the prefab. And one thing I didn't do is I didn't add a nameplate holder here, so set nameplate. We'll pull it up and let's see. I kind of want the nameplate floating in front of this thing a little bit. So that looks okay. We'll try that out and see how that looks. And then what we want to do is for the inanimate unit, we just want to drag the nameplate transform down there, and then its nameplate should show up right there. Okay. For Platonic 4 Cube 4 PUV, that's not a particularly great name, so I'm going to call that the Sun Focus Model Unit, because it is both a model and a unit. We'll save the level now. And let's go test this out. We can go back to the Load Game Manager. Save everything and press play. Click on Load Game. We'll load up the tester that's over at Light Fury Outpost because he's the closest. Go pick up our quest from the dead commander. Just save the game before we zone over there. Alright, and hop on my tiger mount. Go up into the level here, and now we want to go up the stairs and find our Lunamechs, which have our quests. So we have a discharged Lunamech. The Lunamech is covered in dust. It must have been offline for quite some time now. Its partner is also missing. Continue investigating. Good. Now we'll go over here. Oops. Head back up these stairs here. Discharged Lunamech. The Lunamech appears to be completely discharged and out of power, so it is collapsed on the ground. And we should have our final Lunamech over here. This unit appears to be missing its partner. It's also full of singed holes, similar to the one you found in the dead guard at the outpost. Continue investigating. Now we should be able to go to the center, and the sun focus looks pretty good. We can move our mouse over. I think the unit frame is like way too high though, so let's actually just stop and move that down. We'll go back to the sun focus model. Look for the nameplate here and then just drag it down. Make sure that's still kind of in front. And that will hopefully be a little better. Press play again. We'll load up our guy in the ManaSeal. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better. Now the nameplate is down where you can see it basically. So we'll click on the sun focus, follow the map to the ManaSeal and investigate it. Let's hit complete, and the sun focus is not starting our next quest yet. And that's because I clicked the wrong button. So we'll want to click the Start Quest button here, or checkbox, and hit Save. And I think I actually want to make another dialogue for the sun focus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a component to him, and I'm going to add a dialogue interactable. And I'm going to give it a dialogue, and we'll call it an unlit sun focus. I'm I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate any old dialogue and call this one an unlit sun focus. Change the title here to an unlit sun focus, and the sun focus appears to be completely offline. The sun mirrors, which normally power it, are not reflecting the light toward it. And for this one, you have to be on the Investigate the ManaSeal quest, but I actually want all three of the other dialogues to be complete before this one will show up. So the prerequisite will be that you have done already a dusty Lunamech, a discharged Lunamech, and a holy Lunamech. We can save that one, and then we'll actually make an unlit sun focus as a objective of Investigate the ManaSeal. So we'll look for the Investigate the ManaSeal quest here, and we'll give it a fourth dialogue objective, and that one will be an unlit sun focus. Let's save that and press play. We'll load up our game. So I need to pull back this view a little bit because you can't really tell that that you're looking at a pyramid here. The sun focus is offline and the sun shield is down. All the mana appears to be missing from the mana pool. That explains a lot. The sun focus appears to be connected to some machinery below it. Perhaps the remaining Lunamechs and the subterranean machinery are connected. Search for the missing Lunamechs. I'll go search now, and we'll accept the quest, and we need to go find a collapsed Lunamech. So let's go find the stairs down into the basement. If I actually let my cast complete here. My tiger doesn't want to mount inside of this place. That's kind of interesting. So anyway, we'll just go search the basement and I will figure out that tiger issue later. This is not the right basement room, so we'll go look for the other basement rooms here. And it's not this basement room, so we'll keep on searching. Alright, there we go. Now we can see the final discharge Lunamech below there. Alright, we're going to click on him, and unlike the other Lunamechs, this one appears to have been trying to get somewhere. It bears battle scars. There's a door to what appears to be an ancient temple nearby. Perhaps you should investigate. Okay. Alright, so this Lunamech right here needs to basically end the quest, find the missing Lunamechs. Actually, you know what? He totally doesn't. I'm going to add another dialogue to this called a hostile Lunamech, and I'll actually have that as the final quest for the dungeon here. We're going to stick a door to a dungeon right here, and in the next episode we will be making the Ancient Archive dungeon, and that's one I've been looking forward to for a long time because we're going to do some cool stuff like add in switches you can step on and have like traps and doors that you have to open by clicking things. It'll kind of be like a puzzle dungeon, which should be pretty fun to implement. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, if you did, don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe to the Cohesion YouTube channel, or just leave a note in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next time.